It's Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, back in our Shelton studio, bringing you today's headlines. Donna Lang will be joining me today for sports, weather, and of course, a look back on this day in history. But first, in today's news, 27-year-old Kyle Navin has this morning been charged with the murder of his parents, Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin, and is expected to be arraigned. He is charged with 2 counts of murder and murder with special circumstances. Kyle Navin has been in custody on federal firearms charges since police searched his Bridgeport home back in September. According to court documents, Kyle Navin killed Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin after he learned that his parents planned to sell the family business and cut him out of their will. The document said Jeanette Navin had become distraught over her son's drug use, and Kyle Navin's relationship with his father was strained. At an appearance in Bridgeport Superior Court yesterday, 31-year-old Jennifer Valiente of Westport denied conspiring with her boyfriend Kyle to murder his parents for their money. Valiente is charged with conspiracy to commit murder and hindering prosecution in connection with the killings of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin. They disappeared on August 4th. Their remains were found at a vacant home in Weston last Thursday, October 29th. According to reports, Valiente's attorney, Elliot Warren, proclaimed his client's innocence in court, saying, quote, "Jennifer has maintained that she has nothing to do with this, and we are waiting for our day in court." He went on to say that she was looking for Kyle's parents as soon as she realized they were missing and trying to help find them. A Bridgeport Superior Court judge on Monday kept her bail at $2 million and continued the case to November 24th. For any updates on that story, visit thewestonforum.com. Well, as we said, it's Election Day, and the polls have opened, and Election Day 2015 is underway. Connecticut is ready for nearly 1.91 million active registered voters in towns holding municipal elections today to cast ballots, that according to Secretary of State Denise Merrill. Merrill once again released the Election Day hotline in coordination with the State Elections Enforcement Commission. That number is 1-866-733-2463. In addition, there's an email hotline that you can contact, and that's elections@ct.gov. And that's if voters encounter any difficulties at the polls today. Secretary Merrill's office will be conducting several coordination conference calls throughout the day with counterparts as the State Elections Enforcement Commission to monitor any potential irregularities or problems at the polls. As voters head to the polls, Merrill urged voters to go online to myvote.ct.gov to see where their polling place is located, view sample ballots from their town, or find a location for Election Day registration. And of course, you can get your local election results and analysis live on the HAN Network tonight. When the polls close at 8 p.m., we at the HAN Network will be hosting an election night show at live.han.network as the results roll in. We'll also be talking with local officials and HAN's community editors and reporters who will be out in the field. We have some big local races, and the HAN community news sites will be updating you throughout the day. If you miss election night coverage, be sure to catch Coffee Break tomorrow at 11 for a recap of the results and the top races. Well, according to the Associated Press, 2 Connecticut men are facing charges in New Jersey after police say they found $1.5 million worth of drugs when investigators stopped them near a mall. NJ.com reports that 21-year-old Japhet Acevedo and 22-year-old Arturo Perez, both of Stratford, were taken into custody October 27th when investigators stopped them near the Mills at Jersey Gardens in Elizabeth. Officers searched their 2004 Toyota Sienna and found more than 3 pounds of heroin and more than 4 pounds of cocaine. Acting Union County Prosecutor Grace Park says investigators subsequently searched the suspects' homes and found additional drugs. In total, she said investigators seized more than 7 pounds of heroin, 10 pounds of methamphetamine, and $40,000 in cash. It's unclear if they have attorneys who could comment on their charges. Well, on a lighter note, Daisy, a fiberglass cow stolen from her pasture in front of Sunny Day's ice cream shop on the Post Road in Fairfield over the weekend, was found Monday afternoon near Fairfield Ludlow High School. Our HAN Network Audience Engagement Director Josh Fisher shot this video from the scene.
Right here, dude. Here, we're gonna. Are we lifting this up or no?
It weighs nothing.
Oh, it does? We're just gonna put on the lift gate, get it in there, and you're good to go. Oh, crap. See, Keith is good with this because he's got his whole, he's got a whole. Come on, I've been a farm animal.
Look at you got the back. Look at you. Like.
Yeah, really.
Ready?
Unbelievable. Oh, shit.
Are you ready? Oh, you gotta push it up.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta get up there.
We gotta get a quick picture of this.
Gotta get a picture, yeah. Poor cow. That's all. Poor cow. Oh, hold on, dude, sorry. Right there. All right, Bestie, we're gonna get you back. We're gonna get you back. Mike.
Yeah.
Tie straps.
Yeah.
That's what.
So we're gonna go with this. You know what? I got tie straps right here.
It's not gonna go in. It's good. Yeah. I'll drive slow. Okay. Yeah. I'll still do that.
That's awesome.
As you saw, that was the Fairfield Police loading up Daisy. The HAN broadcasting team, we happened to be on location at Ludlow when the cow was located. We were preparing for the FCAC boys soccer semifinals, which Don will talk more about later. But police report that Daisy the cow, which stands about 4 feet by 5 feet and weighs about 400 pounds, was stolen sometime between 11:45 Friday night and 11 a.m. Saturday morning. And of course, police reported to the area near Fairfield Ludlow around 1 o'clock Monday. They were at the back of the school near where Daisy was located. Police and the store's owner told reporters that they believe the cow was taken as a Halloween prank. In 2005, Daisy was taken and found near the railroad tracks. The cow is reportedly valued at $1,500. Well, New Canaan police have arrested Dana Vincent, a Hartford resident, in connection with a series of car break-ins over the summer in New Canaan. According to Lieutenant Jason Ferraro, she was caught on video using a stolen credit card at Target in Newington that came from one of the break-ins. She was charged with 2 counts of third-degree identity theft, 2 counts of third-degree attempt to commit identity theft, and illegal use of a credit card. Vincent did not post a $10,000 bond and had an October 28th court date. Well, it's time to throw it over to Donald Ang for a look at today's weather. Don?
Well, the weather is looking great really for the entire week, Kate, but especially today on Election Day, no excuse not to turn out and vote today. Sunny with a high near 68 and calm, maybe picking up to about a 5-mile-an-hour breeze later on today. Tonight, clear with a low around 49, virtually no wind. Tomorrow, sunny again with a high near 65, and tomorrow night, clear down to around 49. Slight chance of showers Thursday afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny, highs again into the high 60s, and the chance of showers persists into Thursday night. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunny to mostly sunny again. So nothing much to complain about as far as the weather goes. Right now, it is 62 degrees and sunny. Outside our Shelton studio, 60 degrees. In Ridgefield, 61. In Trumble, Coffee became 11:09. Wow, still.
Oh, wow,
still
that's from the olden days.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Don. Well, thanks so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have a lot more news. And Don's also going to take us on a look back on this day in history, and we have the latest in local sports coming up on your coffee break after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut, or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Right. Are you easy to scare? HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone. Sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
When you experience...
And we're back on this Tuesday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time now to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng.
Well, Kate, thank you very much. On this day, a small dog became a big hero. But first, we go to 644 AD. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second Muslim caliph, dies by assassination in Medina. Umar was chosen to succeed Muhammad, and controversy over his election lingers in the form of the Shia-Sunni split, which is not theological, it is political. 1868, publisher John Willis Menard, the first African-American elected to the U.S. Congress, when he wins a race for a vacated seat in Louisiana's 2nd District. Due to an electoral challenge from the man he defeated, neither man was ever seated. Future President James Garfield is said to have lamented that it was simply too soon for a black congressman. 2014, New York City. One World Trade Center officially opens. At 1,776 feet, it is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere and the 5th tallest in the world. And finally, we go to 1957 for this.
Good afternoon. A dog knocked a goat right out of the world's attention today. In a masterpiece of propaganda timing, the Soviet Union announced it had launched Sputnik number 2, carrying a live dog. This is reportedly history's first space traveler.
Moscow reports this morning that the dog in the new Sputnik is in satisfactory condition, and the Reds hint that she may be parachuted safely back to Earth.
Space dog alive well. The Red Sputnik. The dog, barking his way around the Earth every 102 minutes, has won Russia new respect. A British editor asked me half-jokingly, how does it feel to be the citizen of a second-rate power?
That is 1957. The Soviet Union launches Sputnik 2 into space. It was the second man-made satellite to be put into orbit and the first to contain an animal, a 15-pound stray dog named Laika, which means simply bark. With only about 3 weeks to devise a launch capsule, Soviet engineers did not come up with a plan to return Laika, and she died a few hours into the flight. But the launch did prove that a living creature could survive being sent into space. By the way, in 2008, Russia officially unveiled a monument to Laika as a hero of the former Soviet Union. She also appears on the 370-foot-tall Monument to the Conquerors of Space in Moscow. Laika the dog launched into orbit on this date, 1957. With your look back in history, I am Donald Ing.
All right, Don, I'm going to make a rule for Coffee Break that you're not allowed to end your look back on this day in history with sad dog news.
Well, I did rewrite it so that Conquerors of Space Monument was the end. So
that didn't really do it for me. There was no redeeming qualities there.
Okay, sorry about
that.
All
right, but now you're going to switch gears, and we're going to take a look at the latest in high school sports, Don.
And no dogs were injured
Good.
in yesterday's broadcast, as far as we know. You saw it on the HAN network last night. Boys soccer, the FCAC semifinals, Ludlow knocked off top-seeded Danbury 4-2. Nicholas Stale had 2 goals for the Falcons. Patrick Hogan and Nicholas Damaso had 1 goal apiece. Felipe Alves and Kevin Spinanto with the goals for Danbury. Ludlow will now face Darien for the FCAC championship. The Blue Wave defeat Greenwich 1-0 on a Pablo Martinez penalty kick in the first half. Those games yesterday were both part of the HAN championship package. You will be able to view them online in the next few days. On the girls' side, it will be St. Joseph versus Ridgefield for the FCAC championship. The cadets topped Greenwich 4-1. Leah Lewis with 2 goals. Jenna Bike and Lindsay Savko also scored for the cadets. Kimberly Kockenmeister with the lone goal for the Cardinals. The other semifinal saw Ridgefield beat Darien 3-0. Katie Jasminski with 2 goals for the Tigers. Natalie Brasinga with a goal. Julia Middlebrook 9 saves for the shutout. The boys and girls finals will both be part of an HAN network doubleheader. That is tomorrow. As far as the FCAC semis tonight on the HAN network, you can watch them at championships.han.network. It will be New Canaan versus Darien at 5. The Blue Wave come in with a perfect 14-0 record. New Canaan is 10-3-1. That semi is at 5 o'clock. Norwalk versus Wilton in the nightcap at 7. The Warriors are 12-2. The Bears 11-3. As I said, you can catch both those games. Rob Adams on the call at championships.han.network. Kate, that is your look at sports.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, getting back to some of today's news, the New Canaan Advertiser reports that 18-year-old Griffin Patterson, the captain of the New Canaan High School soccer team, was arrested twice last week. Once for forgery after showing police a fake ID card. 2 days earlier, he was caught attending an underage drinking party. On October 30th, police were called to a home on Smith Ridge Road where they found that a large party with underage drinkers was underway. When kids saw the police, many ran into the woods. A juvenile resident of the house said the party had gotten out of control. Police said beer cans were all over the place, and they issued the young resident a summons for failure to halt possession of alcohol, an infraction, and possession of alcohol by a minor, a misdemeanor. Patterson of Carter Street was charged with possession of alcohol by a minor. 2 nights later, Patterson was in a car that was traveling 60 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone on Silver Mine Road, police said. The 17-year-old driver was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol after refusing to take a breathalyzer test. Patterson, who was a passenger, was asked to show ID and allegedly handed police a fake one and caught a second-degree forgery charge for it. He was released on a $500 bond with a November 13th court date. Well, a New York man convicted of luring teenage girls to Connecticut and prostituting them out of a motel has been sentenced to 17.5 years in a federal prison. Edward Thomas was found guilty in January of sex trafficking of minors and was sentenced Monday in a Hartford court. Prosecutors said Thomas lured a 16-year-old and 17-year-old from their home in Oregon in September 2012 to prostitute them out of a Milford motel. Lawyers for the 41-year-old Brooklyn man had argued that a 10-year sentence was sufficient to keep him off the streets. Kayla Walters, a co-defendant in the case, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor in November 2014. She awaits sentencing. Well, in Ridgefield, concerns voiced by the first selectman, the police chief, the town social services director, and a state representative persuaded the Planning and Zoning Commission that it might not be time for medical marijuana facilities in Ridgefield. The commission voted 6-2 Tuesday night to have town planner Betty Brocious put together a regulation prohibiting medical marijuana facilities in the town. In a discussion that happened September 29th, the commission had seemed open to the idea, noting that medical marijuana is available legally in nearby Bethel. Even after hearing worries of the police chief and other town officials, some commissioners still sounded open to medical marijuana facilities. According to Tim Dunphy, a commissioner, what we're talking about here is people who have cancer, people who have serious diseases. He said, I just see so much resistance to this based on a boogeyman mentality. A draft regulation is expected to be ready for the commissioners' review and vote this week when they meet on Wednesday, November 4th. First Selectman Rudy Marconi spoke of a recent meeting at the Lair Retreat Center where Dr. Kevin Hill of the McLean Hospital in Belmont, Massachusetts had led discussions. According to Marconi, the scientific case for marijuana's medical value isn't that strong. He said, I'd rather wait until the jury is in and the clinical trials have been done and we make an informed and wise decision. And they also discussed if medical marijuana facilities were allowed in town and the state moved, as others have, to legalize recreational marijuana, would those local facilities say they could legally sell it? Colorado collects a 3% tax on medical marijuana, but a 27% tax on recreational marijuana, Marconi said. That potential revenue could lead Connecticut to legalize recreational use. And there's a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. Well, the development of 183 Ridgefield Road slated to include the postponed demolition of historic structures has prompted a number of Wilton residents to band together in an effort to preserve what they see as the last bastion of Wilton's fading historic character. But now that the land there is being stripped, petitioners have a new sense of urgency. In late August, Dave Schlitting sold the property his family had lived in for 118 years to a developer who he was under the impression would be restoring it, not tearing it down. Though legally speaking, there was no false pretense involved with the sale, Schlitting indicated that he was made to feel some sense of hope for the survival of his childhood home. When a legal notice printed in the Bulletin on September 24th published the developer's intent to demolish the house and its outbuildings, the Wilton Historic District Commission convened a special meeting and public forum that voted unanimously on October 7th to delay the demolition for 90 days. Not only is the Schlitting home more than 160 years old, it is one of only 3 houses built in the Victorian Italian villa style remaining in Wilton. And you can get more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. Well, Verizon has turned on cell service equipment on the new utility tower at Silver Hill Hospital on Valley Road in New Canaan last Friday. That, according to project manager Keith Coppins, and the advertiser has received 1 report of improved cell service in that area. Coppins said the tower has all the infrastructure for other cell service providers to utilize to give improved service for their New Canaan customers. He said T-Mobile is expected to start installing their antenna on Silver Hill Tower by the end of the year. He said he could not reach AT&T to find out their expected timetable for utilizing the tower. Sprint also may use the tower, but Coppins was not aware of their plans. And in a happy update on a story that we brought you last week, the Trumbull Animal Shelter had a great response for donations to Stevie the cat's eye surgery. They have collected enough donations at this time and are sending a big thank you to all who donated. Stevie was brought into the shelter with infected eyes, 1 already missing. Donations will go towards surgery to close up his bad eye, and after that surgery, Stevie will be looking for a new home. If anyone was interested in adopting Stevie or another pet, you can visit the shelter at 324 Churchill Road in Trumbull or call 203-452-5088. Going to throw it back over to Donald Dang for another look at today's weather. As you noticed, Don, I ended with a happy animal story before I threw it to you.
That was very
something
well done.
To aspire to.
Yes, well, I can only hope. Speaking of aspirations, we have an aspirational forecast for the week. It is going to be essentially a beautiful week with possibly an exception on Thursday. Today, sunny, 68 degrees and calm. Tonight, clear, calm again, 49. Tomorrow, sunny, mid-60s again with very little wind, and a clear, cool night tomorrow, 49. Slight chance of showers on Thursday, otherwise partly sunny with a high near 66. Also a slight chance of showers, about 30% on Thursday night, otherwise a low only down into the mid-50s. And again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, partly to mostly sunny and temperatures in the right around 60 all 3 days. Right now it is 65 degrees outside our Shelton studio, 64 in Ridgefield, and 65 in Norwalk.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, when we come back, we're going to recap some of our top stories today. We'll get another look at today's weather and start getting ready for election night. That coming up on your coffee break after this. In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com. Help.
And we're back on this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and to recap some of the stories we brought you earlier this hour, 27-year-old Kyle Navin has this morning been charged with the murder of his parents, Jeffrey and Jeanette, and is expected to be arraigned today. He's charged with 2 counts of murder and murder with special circumstances. Kyle Navin has been in custody on federal firearms charges since police searched his Bridgeport home back in September. According to court documents, Kyle Navin killed Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin after he learned that his parents planned to sell their family business and cut him out of the will. The documents said that his mother had become distraught over her son's drug use, and Kyle's relationship with his father was strained. At an appearance in Bridgeport Superior Court yesterday, Kyle's girlfriend, 31-year-old Jennifer Valiante of Westport, denied conspiring with her boyfriend to murder his parents for money. She's charged with conspiracy to commit murder and hindering prosecution in connection with the killings of the couple who disappeared on August 4th. Their remains were found at a vacant home in Weston on last Thursday, October 29th. According to reports, Valiante's attorney, Elliot Warren, proclaimed his client's innocence in court, saying that she has maintained she has nothing to do with this and they're waiting for their day in court. She was looking for Kyle's parents, according to her attorney, as soon as she realized they were missing and was trying to find them help. A Bridgeport Superior Court judge on Monday kept her bail at $2 million and continued the case to November 24th. And as we mentioned earlier, the polls have opened and election 2015 is underway. According to Secretary of State Denise Merrill, there is an Election Day hotline that is in coordination with the State Elections Enforcement Commission, which you can reach by calling 1-888 866-733-2463, in addition to an email hotline that you can reach at elections@ct.gov should voters encounter any difficulties at the polls. Of course, the HAN network will have live updates on the election for you here. Josh Fisher will be joining me. We start at 8, and we'll be talking to all our reporters and editors out in the field covering the local election. You could also get the latest updates at your HAN network community newspaper website. And finally, 2 Connecticut men are facing charges in New Jersey after police say they found $1.5 million worth of drugs when investigators stopped them near a mall. NJ.com reports that 21-year-old Japhet Acevedo and 22-year-old Arturo Perez, both of Stratford, were taken into custody October 27th when investigators stopped them near the mills at Jersey Gardens in Elizabeth. Officers searched their 2004 Toyota Sienna and found more than 3 pounds of heroin and more than 4 pounds of cocaine. Acting Union County Prosecutor Grace Park says investigators subsequently searched the suspects' homes and found additional drugs. In total, she says, investigators seized more than 7 pounds of heroin, 10 pounds of methamphetamine, and $40,000 in cash. Well, I'm going to throw it back over to Donald Ang for one last look at today's weather, which is pretty beautiful so far, Don.
Yes, if it's a great day to go vote, exercise your civic responsibility there. We have a great week, really. Sunny, mid to upper 60s today, and clear and calm tonight, low right around 50. Ditto that for Wednesday and most of Thursday, maybe a few clouds and a slight chance of precipitation as we head into Thursday evening, and then clearing up through the day Friday, and a nice weekend, sunny, about 60 degrees Saturday and Sunday. Nothing at all to complain about as far as fall weather goes, and we do remind you that no animals were harmed in the reading of this weather report.
All right, thanks so much, Sean. Well, we're going to wrap things up on your coffee break. We have a great episode of The Drive with Denise coming up at 12:30, an interview she did last week. Of course, Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2, and live at 8 o'clock, our election coverage, all at live.han.network. Have a great election day, everyone.